welcome to Drinking with a CPA. I'm Madi, the CPA. Welcome to this series. This will be a very small, short series, very bite-sized information, so you can drink while you're watching. You can go and take a shot or get a glass of wine. I here have my glass of wine for the day, and this is all I'll be drinking. This first series will talk about something everybody wants to talk about right now, and that is PPP. First of all, PPP, there are some changes that have been made the second round. If you were part of the first round, that's great. You can apply for it again on the second round. If you didn't apply for it on the first round, that's okay. But it is different this time. So there's two parts to this. First, calculating that payroll amount, loan amount that you're gonna get. So the first part of this is calculating that amount. And the way you calculate it in this round is either you do your average monthly payroll in 2019 or the average monthly payroll in 2020. And I would use whichever one is higher. Or the trailing 12 months. Like if you applied in February, that would be the last 12 months. But basically everyone's doing 2020 or 2019. And you divide that by 12 for the payroll cost for either 2019 or 2020, and that's your monthly payroll. Use whichever one is higher. Whichever one you pick, multiply that by 2.5, and that's your PPP loan amount. If you are a restaurant or a hotel, you get to multiply by 3.5, not 2.5. And the only way you can qualify for that is if you have an NAICS code that starts with a 72, which you could see on your tax returns for your Schedule C. If you have an NAICS code that says 72, that's your business code number. If you're a restaurant or a hotel. And from there you can use 3.5. But most everyone else uses 2.5 to calculate that PPP loan amount. So that's your PPP loan amount that you get to get, right? Once you figure that number out, that's great that you need that for the application. Then the next step is qualifying you for the PPP loan. Will the bank give you that money? Let's find out. The way they're gonna give you that money is if you prove one of your quarters in 2020, whichever one you want, whichever one qualifies, quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four, comparatively to the same quarter in 2019 is 25% less in revenue number, not net income, gross sales, invoiced, paid out, gross sales, so all your deposits in that one quarter. So you find which quarter. Most of the time it's quarter two, because quarter two was April, May, and June of 2020. That was a pretty bad quarter for everyone, because that was kind of the start of the pandemic. Things were closing, nobody was doing anything. We were all scared or drinking or doing nothing, and everybody's kind of freaked out. So quarter two was kind of a shitty quarter, so that might be a good quarter just to check first. Quarter two 2020, look at that compared to quarter two 2019. Was it 25% less in gross sales? Yes? Cool, you'll get that first number. You'll get that PPP loan amount. Those are the two things you need. Now, in order to get that qualified, you need to prove that you had 25% sales reduction. How do you do that? You pull a profit and loss statement for the quarter two 2020 comparatively to quarter two 2019. If you do not have your books ready, you should probably get them ready or manually do them. I do have a blank profit and loss statement, which I'll gladly share with you. Make sure it's real numbers, add up all your deposits, add up all your expenses, put them all in there for that quarter, and there you go. Boom, got a P&L statement for that quarter. But you're gonna have to compare both, whichever ones. It's gotta be comparatively from quarter. So if you're doing quarter two 2020, you have to look at quarter two 2019. That being said, if you are not in business in the first or second quarter of 2019, but you're in business in the third or fourth quarter of 2019, then you may compare any quarter in 2020 with the third or fourth quarter of 2019 in order to qualify. That's the only caveat if you started your business later. But if you were not in business in the first, second, or third quarter, but you were in the business in the fourth quarter of 2019, and I have to look because I can't remember this, you can compare any quarter in 2020 with the fourth quarter of 2019 to determine whether you qualify. If you were not in business in 2019 at all, but you were in business before February 15, 2020, February 15, 2020, that is the key date, you can compare gross receipts from the second, third, or fourth quarter of 2020 to that first quarter of 2020. Because remember, that was like not the pandemic. That's only if you were not in business in 2019, okay? And as long as it was reduced by 25%, then you qualify. If you got unemployment, that is not revenue. You do not include that in your profit and loss statement. That is totally separate. Unemployment is not sales revenue. You did not make money from your business. So you do not include that in your sales revenue when you're comparing the 25% reduction in sales, not sales. So now, what do you get to use the funds for? 60% of it has to be payroll costs. If you were self-employed, 60% goes to you. Cool. 40% can be, in the first round, it was just rent and utilities. This time, they've added rent, utilities can be paid too, but so can operating expenses, PPP equipment, cloud computing, supplier costs, there's a whole list, even accounting fees. So you can use those funds for other things to qualify for loan forgiveness, okay? So that's important. Now, like I said before, there is some oversight to this round, so there might be delays in funding. The other thing I want to say and mention is that this act is supposed to set aside more money for new and smaller borrowers, for low and moderate income communities, and for minority, underserved, and veteran and women-owned businesses. They're supposed to prioritize those people first. I'm just saying, supposed to. So if you're any of those, you should definitely try to apply and get help from there. As always, get your books in order, get your damn books in order. You can do it while you're drinking. Don't drink too much. But as always, contact your CPA or tax advisor or me. Either way, get help from wherever you need. It's not that hard. Try doing it. Your banker might help you, hopefully. And again, if you cannot find, if your bank is not participating in this, because some banks aren't ready, but some banks aren't participating at all, try using Sunrise, Lendio, Funding Circle, even Intuit. So there are other places if your bank's not participating, and I very highly recommend. This will only be available to March 31st, so get on the ball, see if you can apply. And if you're self-employed, remember the monthly payroll cost, the first thing that we calculate has to do with your net income, 2019 or 2020, whichever's higher. And if you're not self-employed, then it would be your payroll cost. So that's everything you need to know about PPP. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, feel free to reach out to me at Madi at madicpa.com, maricpa.com. My website is maricpa.com, or openbookkeeping.co. Or you can contact your tax advisor or CPA for more information as well. Cheers to PPP. Keep drinking.